the Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
You want to talk about epic showdowns? We've been building to this for 5 years. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers, the rivalry that completely redefined college basketball. Now, it just exploded onto the WNBA stage, and what Caitlin Clark did last night, it wasn't just a game, it was a moment. A historic, record-shattering performance that proved every single hater wrong and showed exactly who runs this league now. This isn't hyperbole, people. This is WNBA history being written before our eyes. The first professional clash between these two titans, and it was Caitlin Clark who not only silenced her critics but delivered a stat line so insane, it's only been achieved by her, twice. We're talking about records falling, jaws dropping, and the entire league shifting. If you're ready for the ultimate breakdown of how Caitlin Clark put on an absolute masterclass and changed the game, stick around. This is the truth the WNBA needs to hear. Let's rewind 5 years. That's how long this legendary rivalry has burned. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers, two teenage phenoms destined for basketball greatness. They were top recruits, but with totally different style. Clark, pure explosive scoring, passes that defied logic, those logo threes. Bueckers, smooth efficiency, a silky mid-range, court vision that rivaled Clark's. You heard Caitlin Clark herself talking about Paige just recently.
Hey Caitlin, you've known Paige since middle school, AAU. You guys were on the U19 World Cup team together. Is there anything that maybe stood out then about her, whether it be on or off the court, that maybe still reigns true today?
I mean, I feel like she's played in the same manner that she, has since she was, whether we were on the U16 team together, U19 team together, whether it was me watching her in AAU, like she's always just been smooth. She takes what the game gives her. Her midi has always been as nice as it's been this year. She's just she just plays way older than she is. Like she's confident, she's smooth, she just does everything at a high level, can score from all three levels. And that's how she's always played, and that's obviously translated really well.
Their college paths split dramatically. Bueckers chose the UConn dynasty under Gino Auriemma. Clark picked Iowa, hungry to prove itself. This set the stage for epic NCAA tournament battles, and guess what? Clark's Iowa team crushed Bueckers' UConn dreams in March Madness. Clark dropped monster performances, a 41-point masterpiece that sent the Huskies home. She outplayed Bueckers head-to-head, winning 2 of their 3 college matchups. Analysts and fans started picking sides, creating this mythical rivalry. And despite the hype around Paige, the numbers tell a brutal truth, as one analyst put it.
And a lot of people are saying, oh, everything is she was Caitlin before Caitlin, she's better than Caitlin and all this stuff. That kind of stopped in the media. Caitlin Clark put up better numbers in the WNBA than Paige did in college.
The questions started flying. Critics like Gino Auriemma himself attacked Clark's game, questioning her shot selection, doubting her WNBA readiness compared to Paige. They said her explosive scoring wouldn't translate. And remember Diana Taurasi's infamous warning? She said it best, and frankly, she was right about one thing: the league was going to try to make a statement.
Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
The anticipation for their first WNBA showdown was off the charts. ABC picked it up nationally. But here's the thing, Caitlin Clark's Fever were stumbling badly. They just suffered embarrassing losses to teams they should have beaten, the LA Sparks, the Golden State Valkyries. Clark herself was in a slump. Listen to her own words during that tough stretch.
Talking to our player development coach yesterday, and he was just sent me a few things of even Steph going through a slump. I think he was 27 for his last 70 or something like that. The best in the world go through it, and I think that's where you can find your confidence. And I think the thing I always fall back on is I know how hard I've worked, so this isn't something that's going to last, and the best players in the world go through this. So I feel like I'm getting good shots, and I think that's why it's frustrating, because those are the shots that I make.
And the team's inconsistency? Clark herself admits it.
I feel like this stretch, this is a big game for us. I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, and then we play a bad game, then we play a good game, then we play a bad game. So I think for us is we got to find a way to be able to stack really good games together, and then we go on the road, and we're on a back-to-back, which is just a challenge in itself. No matter who you're playing, we play Connecticut, then we play New York. So I think Steph's message was, yes, All-Stars coming up, that break's coming up, but our focus is on these 3 games that we have left. So In that sense, I do think it's critical that our focus just remains on the game in front of us, and I feel like that's what everybody in the locker room is doing.
But it wasn't just losses. Behind the scenes, a full-blown philosophical war was raging within the Fever. Caitlin Clark wanted to push the tempo, unleash the fast break, play her explosive style. But coach Stephanie White? She preferred a slower, more controlled half-court offense. This clash? It created real tension. Clark thrived on transition, but White's system was stifling her magic. And we saw it erupt. The moment Clark and White had that heated sideline exchange during the Atlanta Dream game, you know the one. Cameras caught every word. The visible intensity, the open disagreement, it revealed the deep conflict brewing. One analyst saw it for what it was.
There is definitely something going on within the locker room, the front office. Something is off, man. This is the third situation in one game we have had involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff and pretty much another player.
Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White definitely had a situation where they was in a heated exchange right before halftime. Lineup inconsistencies, injuries, players finding their roles, it all made things worse. Offensive mishaps, missed shots, turnovers. The fast break magic? Absent. Clark admitted the frustration of her slump, but her message was clear.
You know, it can be frustrating when your shot isn't going in the way that you want it to, but then like I look at the box and it's like, I'm really 4 shots away from having a really good game, a really good shooting game. So that's where you find your confidence. And I know those are shots that I can make, and I'm never going to stop shooting. So, I mean, until I break out of it, I'm just going to keep launching, and that's all I know, and I'm still confident in everything that I can do.
The Dallas game? That was the ultimate test. Would White finally unleash Clark's preferred style, or would the philosophical divide continue to hold them back? This internal struggle set the perfect storm for the Bueckers matchup. Clark was desperate to prove her approach worked, and then, something magical happened. It was like the WNBA gods finally intervened. Coach Stephanie White finally gave Caitlin Clark exactly what she'd been asking for. Against Dallas, White made a crucial decision to let Clark control the tempo and run the offense her way. This wasn't a small tweak. White completely changed her approach, fully trusting Clark to lead. You saw it in the highlights. The passes, the shots, the pure flow.
Lee Aru the other night had a season-high 18 points. Here's Boston turning the corner. Dishing to Hull. Extra feed Clark. A deep 3. You bet! And he actually brought up stats from a shooting slump Steph Curry went through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well. Right on the money to Mitchell.
Cunningham attacked the closeout.
Clark, the rejection of Quinterly. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown Fever.
Even early on, the rhythm was building.
Here's Clark being hawked by Isaiah James. Clark sidestepping 3 is good. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6 to shoot, fading away and dropping it in. Beautiful. Here's Clark off the screen. Through the lane, feeds Howard. Another assist for Clark. That's 13 as Howard is up to 18 points.
Then came the explosive second quarter. Everything clicked. Clark pushed the pace like never before. Those full court, touchdown passes, flying. The Fever scored an unbelievable 36 points in that quarter alone. They outscored Dallas by 21 points in just 10 minutes. This wasn't just good basketball. This was poetry in motion.
And he actually brought up stats from a shooting slump Steph Curry went through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well. Right on the money to Mitchell. A tenacious start from Caitlin Clark. Here's Agumbawale. Off on a 3. Long rebound. Mitchell. You're not going to catch her. Kelsey Mitchell in for 2. They elevate each other because of how hard they compete. Nice look. Aaliyah Boston with a gorgeous dime to Kelsey Mitchell.
Clark's teammates absolutely responded. Kelsey Mitchell caught fire, 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting, extending her double-digit streak. Natasha Howard ran the floor like a gazelle, 18 points on efficient shooting. Aaliyah Boston dominated inside, finishing every opportunity Clark created. Their chemistry was perfect.
Mitchell bounces. Boston one more time. This time Mitchell delivering. And Boston up to 13 points. Indiana shooting 66%.
Here's what made this performance truly historic. The Fever scored a franchise record 64 points in the first half, their most beautiful basketball all season. This broke their 2016 record and marked the highest scoring half by any WNBA team in the 2025 season. The Fever's 30 assists tied a franchise record, and 13 of them came from Clark. This wasn't just scoring, she was making everyone better. Sophie Cunningham provided a huge spark off the bench, hitting 13 points and reaching 1,500 career points.
Cunningham the rebound. Cunningham swiftly up the floor. Finds Howard for 2. Sophie Cunningham making a huge impact off the bench. And Dallas will take a timeout.
In this lineup, Natasha Howard is the quickest post player on the
That 36-point second quarter, tied for the third most points in Fever history. They shot 76.2% from the field and went on a blistering 33-9 run for nearly 8 minutes. Dallas had no answers for that pace, that energy. The game became a total blowout. Clark's vision for fast-paced basketball? It wasn't just working, it was dominating. White finally unleashed the monster, and the results were historic.
Good dub. 2 in a row. 2 more to All-Star. Let's go.
W. Oh, Fever down, so you already know what's coming. Bow, bow, bow! On to the next. Hell yeah! Can you use that one? Let's go, baby. W. Now we gotta go get another one.
But here's the moment that will be remembered forever. Caitlin Clark didn't just win, she made WNBA history. While dominating, Clark was quietly putting together a stat line achieved only once before in WNBA history. She was scoring, passing, and then, the defense, it came alive. She had 14 points, 13 assists, and then the defensive masterclass began. She was reading passing lanes like a mind reader.
Is in bounds. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6 to shoot, fading away, and dropping it in. Beautiful mid-range fadeaway from Caitlin Clark.
The exact moment history was made, Clark recorded her 5th steal of the game. This stat line, 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals, made Caitlin Clark the only player in WNBA history to achieve this specific combination twice. She stands alone. Her defensive impact was huge. That block that immediately led to a fast break assist to Sophie Cunningham? Pure genius.
Cunningham attacked the closeout.
Clark, the rejection of Quinterly. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown, Fever.
Sophie Cunningham runs the route and puts her hand up in the air, gives Caitlin Clark the target. Barely over the fingertips of Hines Allen. Beautiful, beautiful pass. Catch, in stride, finish. Beautiful basketball.
Paige Bueckers and the Wings had no answer. Ori Kaonali, one of their best players, went 0 for 10 with just 2 points. Clark's defensive pressure made her invisible. Dallas's strategy of being physical with Clark, it backfired completely. Every time they tried to slow her down, she made them pay. The final score, 102-83, tells the whole story. Clark answered every critic, silenced every doubters. This wasn't just a good game. This was a statement performance. This historic performance proves Caitlin Clark isn't just adapting to the WNBA, she's rewriting what's possible. The rivalry with Paige Bueckers has reached a new, explosive chapter, and Clark wrote the opening pages in dominant fashion.
I feel like this was one of their best games as far as playing Fever basketball, which is a fast-paced style of basketball. They played Fever basketball for, I would say, about 75 to 80% of the game. And we have obviously seen this style of basketball, the style of basketball that we all know and love from the Indiana Fever, but we have only really seen it in short spurts. There have been so many games and so many times throughout this season where it feels like the Fever system is a slow down basketball type of system. Their offense wasn't running smoothly, but in this game, they were playing quick. They were moving the ball around. They had so many points off of the fast break.
The prophecy is complete. Clark has proven she belongs among the WNBA's elite. This blowout victory shows the Fever's true potential when Clark is unleashed. Franchise records fell, individual achievements piled up, and most importantly, the team chemistry finally clicked when Coach White trusted Clark's vision. The second half of 2025 is here, and this rivalry is just getting started professionally. The Fever face challenging road games against Connecticut and New York next. If you're as excited about the Fever now that Clark is truly back, then comment CC Record Breaker below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out on the hottest WNBA tea. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.